The restaurant was warm, a low hum of chatter filling the air, glasses clinking against each other, and the smell of tiramisu drifting over from the waiter's tray. It was supposed to be one of those evenings you carry with you for years. A simple dinner with old friends, laughter circling the table, stories spilling out of half-empty wine glasses. I remember holding my fork, cutting neatly through a slice of chocolate mousse, when my wife leaned back in her chair, her smile too wide, her cheeks flushed with the red wine she'd been sipping. Then, with the ease of someone commenting on the weather, she said it. I wish I married my ex-boyfriend instead. The laughter came first. A ripple of chuckles spread across the table, followed by the full-throated roar of one of my old college friends. Jokes started to bubble. Well, at least she's honest. And someone teased, guess you lost, buddy. The kind of laughter that belongs to people who think they've just heard a harmless joke. But I didn't laugh. I put my fork down slowly, as though the weight of the stainless steel had suddenly doubled. My heart thudded in my chest, hot blood rushing through me. And for a moment, I thought I'd choke on the silence building in my throat. Still, I smiled. That polite, practiced smile you use when you're trying to convince the world and yourself that nothing is wrong. Then I said, I'm glad you can joke about that. My voice didn't crack, but inside, something did. The rest of the evening blurred. I remember nodding at the right moments, offering tight chuckles whenever someone looked my way. But her words kept echoing louder than the conversation around me. Every sip of wine tasted like betrayal. Every laugh I faked felt like another crack in the foundation we had built together. On the way home, she hummed to herself in the car, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. I kept my hands tight on the wheel, staring into the headlights, slicing through the darkness. Finally, I asked, Did you mean it? Her laughter was sharp, almost dismissive. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. You know how everyone teases about exes. But I didn't know. Or maybe I knew too well. Because a joke doesn't leave your stomach hollow. A joke doesn't make you wonder why someone would choose that moment, those words. The next day, I tried to bury it. I went to work, smiled at coworkers, answered emails, sat in meetings where voices droned on and on. But every time I glanced at my phone and saw her name flash across the screen, I felt again the sting, the disbelief, the quiet fear that maybe, deep down, she wasn't joking. And then came the messages. One evening, when she left her laptop open on the kitchen counter, I noticed her screen lit up. A familiar name. Him. The ex-boyfriend. I told myself not to look, that I was being paranoid. But betrayal has a smell, a weight, and in that moment, it was all around me. I read the words. Her laugh in digital form. Her telling him, I missed the way you made me feel. Him responding with memories I wasn't part of, stories from a time before me. Then one message that ripped through me like a knife. Sometimes I wonder how life would have been if I chose you instead. I stared at the screen, numb, until the letters blurred. It wasn't just a joke. It wasn't just a drunken slip at dinner. It was a truth that had been growing inside her, waiting for the right moment to claw its way out. When I confronted her, she cried, not because she was sorry, but because she was caught. She swore it was just nostalgia, that everyone wonders about the what-ifs of life, that she never planned to act on it. She reached for my hand, begged me to believe her, her tears wetting the floor between us. But betrayal isn't only in the body. It lives in the heart, in the words you whisper when you think no one else can hear. The nights grew colder after that. We slept in the same bed, but miles apart. Her back turned to me, my eyes tracing cracks in the ceiling. I wondered if the man she wished she married was dreaming of her too. And yet I stayed. For weeks, maybe months, I clung to the idea that love could survive even this, that forgiveness was stronger than doubt. But every time she smiled at her phone, every time she laughed a little too loudly at a message she wouldn't show me, I felt myself unraveling. The final straw wasn't dramatic. It wasn't another dinner table confession or an affair exposed in the daylight. It was quiet, almost merciful. One evening, as I watched her across the living room, she sat on the couch, her face lit by the glow of her screen. She was smiling, not at me, not at anything I had said or done, just smiling at something on that phone. And I realized I hadn't seen her smile at me like that in years. So I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and started packing. No shouting, no breaking of dishes. Just the sound of zippers closing over clothes, of drawers sliding shut. She looked up, finally noticing, her mouth opening to form questions. But I didn't need answers anymore. Because sometimes betrayal doesn't come with slammed doors or broken vows. Sometimes it comes in a laugh over dessert, in a careless wish spoken like a joke, in a way someone's eyes shine brighter from memories that don't include you. I left that night, and though my heart was heavy, it also felt strangely free. Betrayal taught me something love never did. That silence can be louder than words, and sometimes the cruelest truths are the ones dressed up as laughter.